Bimpe Adebanjo has over 8 years experience in operations and security compliance, IT audit, IT process reviews, and business process improvement. She previously worked in the banking industry in Nigeria before relocating to Canada, where she has worked with Ernst & Young and the Auditor General of Ontario. Her work portfolio in Canada has covered ITSOX compliance audits, security audits, review of IT internal controls over financial reporting, and value for money audits, where the provincial ministries and agencies' use of funds and resources is assessed. She currently works in the Financial Technology and Compliance Division at the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, where she leads and monitors the payment card industry data security standard and IT general controls programs. Bimpe is a member of the ISACA Toronto chapter and is certified in IT audit and data privacy. She is a payment card industry internal security assessor and an alumni of the University of Lagos and University of Manchester. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Bimpe Adebanjo.
This is a trivia question from Ms. Bimpe. So the question is, which is the most important of the 4 technology transformations?
That I don't like take time. I'm trying to make sure that I meet the 20 minutes mark, right? And I have a few slide decks. So if you put it, great. Otherwise, let me just move on, Chidima, so that I don't delay too much. So of the 4, the most important is actually the cultural transformation. I know that a lot of people may think is the process transformation or the business model transformation or domain transformation. But if you wrote cultural, you're absolutely right, because the reality of it is that you can have all the technology tools to improve your business model, to improve your process, to improve your domain. But if there's no cultural switch, like if there's no change in mindset from individuals, from employees, from those in the finance team, asset management, then it will be challenging for the technology transformation to be a success. So anybody trying to deploy a technology product to you, just take note that it might be a great solution, but if there's no cultural switch or mindset, it would be very challenging to make it a success, right? Okay. And so I would move on to another question quickly. So on why do you think cultural transformation is the most important? You can just put like comments on why you think cultural transformation is the most important. But I know that I've already given the answer by my previous explanation. So let me just move ahead. So in reality, is that cultural transformation is most important because without employee acceptance of technology transformation, the other 3 areas will be pretty tough to implement. Like you can implement it, but if the team members say, oh, I'm not accepting this technology, I still want to do my manual processes. Like if the whole business does not incorporate and do like trainings and reorient people and actually getting this in place, then it's going to be really challenging to have it. So let me move on to the next slide. Sorry, my mouse is just trying to. Okay, perfect. So in terms of the area of technology transformation, I'm just going to give a brief overview of this, because organizations that are trying to like digitalize or enhance their processes through technology need to know that it's a 4-man show. Like the top 3 are the most important ones, but it's a 4-man show to be sure that you touch all 360 aspects, right? So the first one, the process transformation, it focuses on a specific business area of the enterprise. So for instance, maybe you have a specific process in your company. Maybe it's a reconciliation process, and people, it was being done manually. Maybe the person will use VLOOKUP or whatever on Excel, and then you want to automate that specific process, right? Or you want to like add data analytics into a previously a manual process. So that's process transformation. There are lots of organizations that have actually adopted this in terms of like getting like a successful process transformation. I'll give an example of one, Domino's Pizza. I know that it's very popular pizza place in Nigeria. So previously, a lot of people don't know this, but in terms of the pizza industry, what the company that was leading was Pizza Hut, as in they were like the front runners, right? But then Domino's Pizzas now enhanced their process in terms of food ordering, and then made it like digital and online to be able to order, and that's how they were able to overtake Pizza Hut, right? So there are other companies as well that have actually implemented robotic process automation to simplify their back office processes. So kind of like simplifying their accounting process. For instance, the data analytics that I had mentioned earlier. So process transformation on its own can actually create tremendous value in an organization. So let's move to the next one, which is the business model transformation. So as opposed to the first one, whereby in your organization you want to transform a specific process, you can do that. Okay, this is the process that maybe I need it for value delivery or client service. You can also say you want to transform the business model. So as opposed to just a specific process, you can transform like the whole business structure in your enterprise. So like changing from like a traditional model and improving the foundation of value delivery, right? The previous speaker gave some very great examples of those that change their business model, and I'll just add another one to it, right? Because it's one of my favorite things to do, and it's Netflix. You know, previous to Netflix, when it comes to video distribution and stuff, Blockbuster was at the top. When it comes to like home movies and video game rentals, like nobody knew that you can rent movies with an app and just watch it like that. You know, it was Blockbuster. And the interesting thing is, when Netflix developed their model, they actually reached out to Blockbuster, come and buy this for 50 million. And Blockbuster said no. And what happened in a couple of years back, Blockbuster did not change their technology. They did not change their process. They did not incorporate technology. And what is happening to Blockbuster now? They are no more. And Netflix is leading. And now there are other people that are actually developing this model, but they were the front runner on it. And that's what technology can do to an organization. Another one as well, when it comes to business model, is also Apple, right? I know that the previous speaker did give some good examples of the phone, like how Nokia just went down and stuff. Like Apple as well, look at the music delivery, iTunes. It changed the way music is bought using technology. Previously, it was more like me previous to now, like if I want to like listen to music and stuff, I want to listen on my computer or MP3 player. Long ago then, it would be from the CD, and then from CD move it to your computer and then connect to MP3, and you're praying that, hey God, let this be the right format, right? So that's some of the things that using technology to remodel your business can do, right? The third one, and what I'll say is the most important, is the cultural transformation. And this focuses on redefining your organization's mindset, the mindset of the people, the capabilities of the people, to learn that, okay, this is what we're doing with technology. This is the impact to our organization. This is the value we're going to get, and this is how to use it. It's very important of actually instilling this in an organization. So it's not only about spending all that money on technology. You need to reorient the people, right? The fourth one is the domain transformation, and it focuses on redefining products and services, blurring out industry practices, and creating a new set of non-traditional competitors. And what this means is, you know, a lot of people just say, oh, this is my niche market, this is what I'm doing, you know. And a beautiful example of this is Amazon, right? We know Amazon as an online delivery. Okay, I want to buy something online is Amazon. And they matched into a completely new market with AWS, with Amazon Web Services. And they're currently right now the largest cloud computing services. So it's really, that's a clear example of how new technology can actually redefine your products and services, where you can just go into a new industry and create like new sets of competitors, right? Okay, so let me move to the next one. Okay, so another question. You can just put your answers, just put your answers if you have an idea. So why are organizations, based on what I've said in the previous slide and how technology can actually bring great value to an organization in terms of competitiveness and revenue, why do you think like organizations are reluctant for a technology transformation? You can put your answers in the slide deck. 30 seconds, and then I would move on. Okay, let me move on. So in reality, the reason why organizations are reluctant is because of the fear of unknown, like unwillingness to change from the current process. But we know that things are no longer like business as usual now. Like it's very important for people to actually want to change. Second question, why do organizations need technology transformation? Why do you think like organizations need that technology transformation, like from the dated, archaic, like manual processes, and incorporating technology into their processes day-to-day life? So the answer is a simple one, basic economic survival. So if you are thinking to remain competitive, to improve processes, customer experience, increase efficiency, those are all like the right questions. Basically, an organization needs to adopt technology in order to survive. If there's anything COVID-19 has taught us, is that digital organizations are the ones that survived. They're the ones that have the most competitive advantage, those that were online. We were working from home and there was nothing. Like, for instance, when I was in the UK, one store, I'm not going to say the store, but it's a very affordable store in the UK, and I just loved it. Let me just say Primark, right? I love Primark a lot, and Primark had like it was high demand. Like anytime you go to their stores, it was always full. Now look at COVID happening. Primark does not have an online presence, and then you have things like Marks and Spencer and the others that have online presence. What would happen? That messed them up. So technology in your process, in your business model, is very, very important, right? So if you cannot incorporate technology, really, how would you expect to remain competitive? And just to give it this kind of, as I was talking now, I just remembered a few days ago that my sister shared a post on our family group, and the family, the message read something like, you cannot raise your children the way your parents raised you, because that world no longer exists. And then my mom replied and said, yes, this new generation were born into a computer age, always in a hurry to get things done. And that's the truth. Like the target market right now, millennials, generation Z, technology savvy, they do not have the patience for old conventional methods. So as an organization internally, you first have to differentiate yourself, have the right tools and the technology in place in order to be able to serve customers better. So I'm going to go to the next slide now. So I'm just going to I'm not going to talk too much about this because I know that the previous speaker spoke about it, but I'm just going to say it on a high level. I'm going to talk about like the real world scenarios of technology transformation. One of them is the real-time data visualization, right? So this is like the technology that involves the use of data to assess trends and fluctuations in real time. So what it essentially means is using digital dashboards to actually identify changes in your organization during specific periods, and then you can assess the impact to the organization. I'll give an example. So for instance, a company that okay, let's look at maybe like a sports company, right? And looking at, they would want to identify the impact of like weekly jersey sales on their sorry, they want to identify the impact of weekly jersey sales on their clients' performance. So imagine like now that Cristiano Ronaldo has gone to Manchester United. I'm using that example because I'm a Man U fan, right? So using football as an example, an organization can identify the impact of buying a certain player on the revenue and budget for that organization. Like for me, I'm a core Man U fan, right? And I've been supporting them since like Manchester days. And the last time I bought the jersey was in 2012. This year, I heard that Ronaldo is getting back, and just this morning, I've worked on an order of the newest jersey. So these are organizations can actually take advantage of this, right, and just like be able to assess that, okay, based on this, that's like, and real time, just determine the fluctuations. So for instance, maybe last month or 2 months ago, this was how much they were selling in jerseys. Right now it increased. They would just assess it that, okay, we're expecting due to Ronaldo coming, it would increase. So it helps with like forecasting and budgeting, and also assessing like trends and fluctuations in real time. So that's basically what the digitalization is about, you know. So with this visual, like you can actually have a visual of like your sales or your revenues within a certain period, and it would allow you to like alter your stock, or alter what you're selling, because now you have like a visual of the sales and revenue performance, right? So maybe an organization knows that, okay, during Christmas period, I would sell more, I'll sell less, or during Salah or something. They would assess that and increase their stock. And because you have this visual dashboard, you're seeing certain trends, and it would help you when you're budgeting and when you're buying stuff, so that you just don't have like stocks in your organization for a long time. So using sales as an experience, as an example. So in essence, data visualization can help to eliminate guesswork, and it would enable like critical decision making through using those like dashboards in ERP systems, right? Okay, so let's move to the next one, analytics. So so this is technology that involves the use of analytics to identify trends and fluctuations. So similar to the first one, it's really technology that actually helps you in critical business and finance decisions. You know, really, like, to make a future plan, you need to be able to assess the current trends, right, and use like logical data to support it. So it's very important to actually have like some sort of analytics tool that would help you like look at like previous trends and help with budget measuring and expenses and making like future forecasts, right? Okay, and then we have robotic process automation. So it's really like technology that involves automating a repetitive task, like a manual task. So if you have like a process within your organization whereby it's manual, is repetitive, we keep doing it, we've got like preset variables, right? You can just convert it into an automated process, so that the person that was previously doing it, okay, doing this mundane repetitive process, move it to automation and let the person do like more suitable things that would utilize their talents, you know, like sales or marketing or something, you know. So those are just some scenarios of how technology can be used in your enterprise. So another one is compliance. So using technology to actually support regulatory or legislative compliance. In the world we are today, like technology, compliance is a huge concern for corporations around different practices. Like regulations are stricter, you know, with online stuff, like regulate things they didn't used to look at before. Like I'm a PCI person, and we're moving to the newest version 4 by next year or the year after. And one of the things they're adding is controls around cloud computing, you know. So things keep changing, you know. So you can use technology to actually help your compliance, you know. Accounting errors can cause, looking at accounting, it can cause like major issues, like if it's more of manual manner. But if you have a technology or a system that will just help you calculate a lot of things, like that's a digital solution that is helping you and removing like that human error from the the equation. And just to give an example of regulatory compliance, like the annual like PCI DSS is kind of like a regulatory compliance, right? Previously it was more of like, oh, we need to come to the organization, we need to review their processes, we need to see if their credit card is being processed in a secure manner. But then COVID happened. What happened? They set up a new policy, work from the work remotely. And what did this result to? We had to like set like a tool, like a technology tool that would kind of like help to show our compliance posture and show like where we might be lacking. And we also like set up another technology tool to help to send information in a secure manner. So technology is a very important aspect of compliance and supporting like organizations compliance. So the last one, onboarding, right? So it's just technology that involves the addition of customer or employee information. It can also be asset information, vendor information. It gives you that view, you know. So if there's like if somebody joins an organization and you're just putting file and stuff, you can always just input the details in this on the system, and then you have that visual. If you have this number of vendors, you can just, rather than just have it in paper that, okay, these are the vendors you have contracts with, this is when their contract expires, right? You can have that in a visual, in a technology tool, and at a glance you'll be able to see where that vendor stands in your organization. If you have a customer as well, right, and the customer, you're providing this service or these products for the customer, you can have a tool to actually monitor the customer experience, or to monitor things like in terms of services, when is this person needing this service the most, or the product, and you'll be able to assess in terms of like the critical level of each of your customers or your vendors just at the glance of that of an onboarding like technology tool, you know. So you can automate this process, make it cleaner, reduce issues from human errors, and free up workspace. So I'm going to move on to the next slide now. So the next one is, so why do companies need technology transformation? I think right at the start, as I've been talking, I think I've been speaking well about it, but it's really like you can lower your costs in great detail. You can improve your quality, reduce the cycle time. Imagine like you're a retailer and you've got stock and you have hundreds of stocks, like maybe you have it in your maybe you're working from home or in your warehouse or whatever, you know, but you have to go each time to manually count. Imagine you have a technology like you put in all the stock there, somebody, as you're shipping a stock, you remove it there, like at a glance, like if a customer calls you straight, you can know immediately like this is how much stock I have left, or we don't have this, or when something is going down, rather than manually going to count, you can just see it in a technology tool, right? So reduces cycle time, improves efficiencies, it reduces errors, it makes the processes cleaner and much faster, like the scenario I give you, rather than going and determine how much. Instantly you can say what it is. Optimize workforce allocation as well, you know, whereby you can improve like efficiency or performance of your company employees, rather than like and let them do like strategic tasks than the mundane manual task. Tangible financial gains, because we know that the world right now is technology, like you need to adopt technology. Customer satisfaction, because of the quick time to response, efficiency of operations, and then also innovative products and services. So really like automating actually helps you to like free up a lot of resources, what you were doing manually, make it automated. So right now, like you would see that it's no wonder that a lot of like financial industry CFOs and stuff have been adopting finance transformation, because of like the long amount you can spend on like unnecessary tasks, right? Okay, so we're almost done. And then to the conclusion, yay. So in conclusion, financial transformation in 2021 and beyond would depend on like the interplay within between technology and the people willing to adapt to it. So there's technology, and then you need that cultural transformation, that cultural mindset. So even though there are advantages of technology transformation, they can only bear fruit if you approach the process wholeheartedly. It comes down to taking that first step. I want to revamp this process in my organization, or this is too manual, we can make this more efficient. Because as you are working on your internal technology, is having an impact to the products and services that you're delivering to customers, to clients, to vendors. So that's why it's very important. Another thing is tighter margins, stronger competition, and increasingly stringent regulatory requirements are some of the major challenges that have been in a situation whereby any forward-thinking CFO would see the need to evolve. So basically what I said earlier. And archaic processes, like it's no longer business as usual. So archaic processes that have been conducted with legacy systems, legacy ways of doing things, it can't support the process anymore in the current in our current times. The previous speaker spoke about 4.0. When you're getting to 4.0, like, you need to know that it's no longer business as usual. You want to remain competitive in the market. You want to make constant progress in what you're doing. So it's not a time to say, oh, you're not ready for digital transformation. It's a time that people need to embrace it, in essence. And the reality of it all is that for a company to remain competitive, you must go through this process. Like, you must go through like technology transformation, or else like it would be more of like lagging behind for competition. Like, businesses are continuously improving. Nobody stays in stagnant ways. That's why you're seeing, even on your phone, that's why you see, oh, you have an application, they're upgrading it. That's like revamping their process, revamping something you're doing. Sometimes you see Instagram upgrade or WhatsApp upgrade. By the time you click on it and update it, you see something has changed. That, oh, this wasn't here before, this is now here. What are they doing? Client experience, value delivery. But you have to change your internal technology process, right? So based on that, I would say I've met my 30 minutes mark. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Miss Bimpe Adebanjo. So that was power packed. That was a whole lot of content there. So if you know you got value from this session from Miss Bimpe, just give me again a thumbs up, emoji in the chat room. So let's know
my
that
camera was actually off or true. Was my camera off or on or true?
Yeah, it was off actually.
Oh, you should have told me. I was looking straight. I thought, oh man, I didn't realize it was off. Like, I was looking straight at the camera, and I was doing a lot of, okay, well, sorry about that.